What is 5G? 5G stands for Fifth Generation Wireless Technology. 5G is an advance on previous standards of wireless cellular networks. It was introduced in late 2018. Every generation involved changes to technology, infrastructure and operations to increase speeds in data transmission and allow for a broader range of uses. Like 3 of the 4 earlier standards, 5G describes ranges of electromagnetic frequencies used to transmit digital information. Because 5G has new operating methods and encoding systems, it is incompatible with previous standards. This means networks would have to update their system to accommodate 5G systems. What frequencies will 5G use? Cellular networks use low frequencies at the long wavelength end of the electromagnetic spectrum, below 300 GHz. The first standard, 1G, typically operated at frequencies of roughly 850 and 1900 MHz, for example. Every new standard since then has allowed for a broader range of frequencies to be used, moving further up the radio spectrum to include shorter and shorter wavelengths so more and more data can be packed in. In the past, cellular networks were mostly used to help us communicate, linking up mobile phones. So a simple call could be allocated narrow frequency to carry all of its information. Unlike the other standards, 5G is designed to accommodate the diversity of applications we anticipate for the future beyond personal smart devices. It also promises faster download speeds, with the theoretical peak of 20 gigabits per second, which is 20 times faster than existing 4G networks' top speeds. To manage the task, 5G technology makes use of a much wider range of frequencies, categorized into low-band, mid-band, and high-band tiers. The lower and middle frequency categories aren't really all that different to those used for 4G's long-term evolution, LTE, networks. In fact, low-tier frequency with 5G will probably perform much the same as existing 4G networks, operating as a basic data service. The use of high-tier millimeter wavelength frequencies, around 28 GHz, sets 5G apart, providing high-speed data transfer over short distances. Higher frequencies can squeeze more data into every second. However, they also don't reach as far, or penetrate through obstacles as easily, which requires more signal-boosting boxes. Given this added resource, high-tier 5G frequencies will be limited mostly to city centers for the foreseeable future. Just the thing we'll need in high-density urban environments as we all watch more movies, call more friends, operate our driverless cars, and perform tasks we can yet barely imagine. Is 5G's network dangerous to your health? The latest cellular technology, 5G, will employ millimeter waves for the first time in addition to microwaves that have been in use for older cellular technologies, 2G through 4G. Given limited reach, 5G will require cell antennas every 100 to 200 meters, exposing many people to millimeter wave radiation. 5G also employs new technologies, for example, active antennas capable of beamforming, phased arrays, massive multiple inputs and outputs, known as massive MIMO, which pose unique challenges for measuring exposures. Millimeter waves are mostly absorbed within a few millimeters of human skin and in the surface layers of the cornea. Short-term exposure can have adverse physiological effects in the peripheral nervous system, the immune system and the cardiovascular system. The research suggests that long-term exposure may pose health risks to the skin, for example, melanoma, the eyes, for example, ocular melanoma, and the testes, for example, sterility. Since 5G is a new technology, there is no research on health effects, so we are flying blind, to quote a U.S. senator. However, we have considerable evidence about the harmful effects of 2G and 3G. Little is known the effects of exposure to 4G, a 10-year-old technology, because governments have been remiss in funding this research. Meanwhile, we are seeing increases in certain types of head and neck tumors and tumor registries, which may be at least partially attributable to the proliferation of cell phone radiation,